Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness, Jared Maples, is with us. Good afternoon. On Thursday, we announced the plan by which the Jersey Shore could reopen for the summer season. And today, I am proud that we're able to announce that in addition to enjoying our beaches, our shoregoers will also be able to enjoy some time on the water as well. So today, I am signing an executive order that will allow fishing charters and other chartered boat services and watercraft rentals to resume effective at 6 a.m. tomorrow, May 17. In both instances, we will require specific social distancing and sanitation measures to be followed, including the implementation of online or telephone payment systems to further lessen direct person-to-person contact, among other procedures spelled out in my order. One of those will also require that all passenger and customer logs be properly maintained for the purposes of contact tracing, should that be required. We are confident that in taking these steps for getting our state on the road back for the same reason that we've been able to take the other steps that we've announced over the past few days to restart our economy and begin our recovery, because the data says that it is possible. As we've said from the get-go, public health creates economic health. Data determines dates. I had a very good conversation yesterday with one of the Restart Recovery Commission members, Dr. Ben Bernanke, formerly of Princeton, former chair of the Federal Reserve, and we covered a number of topics. But I said, I want to make sure, Mr. Chairman, that we've got this right, and he was overwhelmingly of the same opinion, that you've got to deal with the virus first, create the confidence around public health, and only with that are you able to take the steps that we need to take as it relates to economic recovery and reopening. We're in a position, by the way, back to both of these principles of being able to put some of this, as you've seen, into practice. On the public health side, we know that the trends we needed to see have emerged, especially in our hospitals, which are where we have the best opportunity to track the impact of COVID-19. And across the board, as you can see here, every metric we have followed is showing us that we can move forward. You've got new hospitalizations, patients in the hospital, patients in ICU beds, patients on ventilators are not just down dramatically from the peaks, but they're down meaningfully even over the past couple of weeks. If you flip over, a green ball means we're having a good day, meaning that whatever that determinant is, it was going down and not up. And over the past 2 weeks, we've had many more good than bad, and many of those good days have come with significant decreases. And as you can see, the only 3 red balls we're showing right now over the past couple of weeks, Judy, is in new hospitalizations. We see this across, by the way, every region of the state, with the trend lines all continually moving in the right directions. And as you can see, just as Judy predicted, the South has got the most amount of red balls, but even there, we've had a good stretch here of late. And while we know that right now we are not entirely out of the woods yet, as you can see here, New Jersey is beginning to fall a little bit more in line with some of the big states and neighbors that we compare ourselves to. As we're taking a broadly regional approach to our restart and recovery, this is a good sign, in particular as we look at where we are relative to Connecticut, New York, and Pennsylvania. It's a little bit of a stretch to call California and Texas neighbors, but we take our hats off to each of them. But for the purposes of today, our charter boat captains and watercraft rental businesses can begin preparing their vessels for folks starting tomorrow morning. Even with social distancing, we are confident that everyone can have a safe and memorable summer. Next up, I want to again thank President Trump, and with whom I again spoke with yesterday, and the federal administration for their approval of $1.4 billion in CARES Act funding for NJ Transit. I cannot overstate how vital this funding is to ensure the safe operations of our mass transit systems, the bus, rail, and light rail, and paratransit. Throughout this emergency, many of our frontline workers across essential industries have relied upon NJ Transit to safely get them to and from their jobs. And as we begin our restart, having NJ Transit working as it should will be absolutely vital to our recovery as more residents will be getting back to work. Now, certainly we know that NJ Transit will need more assistance to make up for the significant loss in fares it has seen over the past couple of months, and I will continue to work with the White House and other federal officials and with our congressional delegation and with leaders in Congress to bring that assistance to our state. But make no doubt about it, this $1.4 billion is absolutely necessary, and it is certainly welcomed, if not, frankly, near impossible, without draconian cuts to the very programs and the very jobs that we will be relying upon to pull us off that mat. And without this assistance, the progress we have made to pull New Jersey's finances back to respectability, record surpluses, decreasing health care spending, putting aside hundreds of millions of dollars for a rainy day, will be undone. We need this relief, and we need it now. So I urge Senator McConnell to listen to the growing bipartisan chorus in the Senate who understand what this means what this means for their states, and to sit down with Speaker Pelosi and negotiate a final bill to send to the President for his signature. We have an extraordinary congressional delegation in both the Senate and House, and I don't know where we'd be without them. But we're not the only ones with stars. I had very good conversations this morning separately with both Delaware senators, Senator Coons and Senator Carper. Senator Coons about a whole range of topics, and he's an outstanding leader. Senator Carper very specifically about getting us to the point where we've got the bipartisan support we need to get direct state cash assistance. And I can't thank them both, and especially Senator Carper on this topic, enough for their leadership and their help. By the way, there's no time left to waste. We're up against this. This is not theoretical or abstract. Municipalities are laying people off as I sit here. There's no time to waste, period, full stop. And with that, let's turn to the overnight numbers. Yesterday, we received an additional 1,239 positive test results for a